Well, my name's Ian Knuckles, and I'm delighted to be presenting this interview for Devizes Town Football Club's YouTube channel. I'm delighted to be joined by club co-chairman Dan Sloan and Tom Perkins, and of course our manager, Chris Allen, for this end-of-season roundup. Now, Chris, I think we'd better start with you, considering the incredible season that the club have had. I mean, what are your reflections on this campaign?
Obviously delighted we've achieved what we set out to at the start of the year. I think everybody knows that we're a very ambitious club, especially at step 6 level, and after the success that we've had in the first 2 years, we all knew, and there was a bit of an expectation on us to go and do well this year. We never put a specific target on it. We just wanted to keep improving, and ultimately we've done that, and to top it off by winning the title is obviously great for us.
Does it feel real now? Because of course there can be the weight of expectation, particularly a season where you've been going so well for so long, but actually getting across the finishing line in any race carries its own weight of expectation.
Yeah, it was all a bit of a blur on the Kingsham game, because I don't think anyone really expected it to happen that day. I know we had the trophy here and the league bought the trophy here, but I was still very sceptical that it wouldn't happen on that day, and that we'd have to go to the last game of the season. So it's sunk in a little bit now, and obviously we've had a chance to have a reflect on it and have some celebrations. And yeah, it's just a great time for the club. You know, like I said, when we sat down 3 years ago, this is what we set out to achieve. Well, we're part of the way to what we set out to achieve, and the club continues to strive forward all the time and move in the right direction.
I mean, you had a really good career as a footballer, but now you find yourself in the dugout. How does this achievement rank to the ones that you managed when you were in the playing days?
Yeah, probably as high as any, to be honest, because I think as a player, obviously you've got 16, 17, 18 lads with you week in, week out, and to do it as a manager, obviously, you're supported by your backroom staff and all of your players, of course, but then you do feel a lot more expectation and a lot more weight on your shoulders than what you do as a player. So yeah, in terms of achievement in my career, obviously in terms of managerial, it's the highest, and career as a whole is right up there, because it's a different type of pressure that you feel when you're a manager to when you're playing. So.
Tom, your position obviously is co-chairman. I mean, and I know you're a fan, so you must have been delighted with the achievement on the pitch, but what does it mean to the club off the field?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember sitting here 3 years ago with yourself, giving a similar interview with me and Dan, and we kind of sat there and said, our aim was to be in the Southern League in 5 years. And people at the time were probably thought, talking rubbish, it's a long way off. Come a long way in the past 3 years. We've all been building to that moment, winning the league. I think it's come at the right time for the club. I think the club's ready for step 5 football now. I know we battled around the playoffs in the first 2 seasons, and don't get me wrong, if promotion had come in those, we would have dealt with it. But I think we've built each season, and now the club as a whole, with everything that's going on off the pitch in the past 3 years, we are ready for that next level, and going to look forward to it and embrace it.
And you're a confident man. You never had any doubt, did you?
No,
We're exactly where we thought we always thought we would be.
We had a 5-year plan, 3 years in, 2 years time, who knows where we'll be. We sit there every year, we come what we from, I think a year ago, between the 3 of us. It's a little bit of an overhaul with a couple of players leaving, obviously Luke Hopper's injury. He's been our best player for the last 2 years, but every phase in Chrissy and Opti came in to sort of cement his place in the management team as well. Between the 3 of us, we never set out to win a league, I don't feel, because it's a long way to go at the start of the season, but that's definitely one of the aims, isn't it? We want another cup run, because it feels nice, and double cup league winners. It's something that, I don't know if Devizes have ever done that before, actually. They've won leagues and they've won cups, but in my memory, no one ever talks about double winners. So, it's history for us.
And what about the club's evolution off the pitch? Because obviously we know what Chris and the players have done on it, but actually we're sitting in a fantastic facility here in the clubhouse. The ground is recognisable, but the beautiful pitchside barrier has really lifted it. The club long way in those last couple of seasons.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the support that we've had, committee, volunteers, off the field, I mean, they're doing everything they can to bring the club up to what it needs to be. If you look around at other clubs, they're all throwing money. It costs a lot of money now to play football. With travelling, we just want to make sure that the club is self-sufficient for years to come. So you need to be doing off-the-field activities that the FA have out called the Class and Football Foundation, which obviously allows us to do the side barrier. And everyone in the local community has supported us 100%, from sponsors to coming up here and getting part. We've never had an event that's never been successful. People have got right behind us, the club, the senior team, the reserves, and it's been great to see.
So the next chapter, Chris, is Step 5 football. And I guess because of one of the great unknowns with the Football Association, we don't know whether that means you'll be playing in the Hellenic League or the Western League. But of course, whichever league you do play in will present its own set of challenges on and off the pitch. Is that something that you've been able to give any thought to now, or is it just an opportunity to try and recharge the batteries?
No, I've given it thought. We're already looking ahead to next season and planning for wherever we might end up. So obviously we don't know yet, but we'll be prepared for either league that we go into. I think we've got a slight preference, and we've got a slight we feel it might favour us more in one certain division next year. And we'll plan accordingly. But yeah, it's a difficult time because players want their rest as well, and if you start trying to speak to too many of them too early, they don't want to know. So yeah, it's a good time to give them a bit of a rest, and I think probably come towards the end of May is when you can really start trying to get a squad together ready to go for pre-season, probably in the middle of June time.
I mean, I know from my conversations with the manager at Bradford Lane how not moving to the Hellenic League when they anticipated that would be the case impacted on the close season preparations and conversations with the players. It's a live factor, isn't it? How those conversations are going to happen really will have a big impact on, based on what division you're in.
Yeah, I think it's well documented, isn't it? The difficulties that the Western Premier can bring to clubs probably in our sort of area. So as a club and as a board and with Perkins and Dan, we're going to have to discuss if that eventuality does happen, because although we can think it's not going to happen, it could still happen. So we've got to be prepared for that. And yeah, I'd imagine it would be a very similar situation to what Chris found himself in at Bradford last season. And they've done brilliantly. Look how they've responded and what they've done in the league this season. So it just goes to show it can happen. As I said, we've got our preference, but we have to be prepared for if that doesn't happen.
Tom, is it a case of hope for the best and prepare for the worst?
Yeah, absolutely. We wanted to get Step 5 football. We know our level of football is not guaranteed where we will go with the area of Wiltshire. I think it's quite obvious that our preference is to go to Hellenic Prem as much as we'd love being part of the Western. I think you can see even for what's happened this season in the Western League with Nelsie and Tickenham, and I think Houston are dropping out now as well, so Walsall have gone. Sides down in Cornwall are finding it hard financially with the travel and probably getting players that want to commit to whole day out on Saturday, etc. So that will present a different set of problems. But ultimately, we'll deal with it if we end up in the Western. We can't just stagnate and stay where we are because we're too scared of what might not happen. Like I said, we're an ambitious club. So we'll just see.
And we have to recognise that because you're in a position of authority in the club, and I think probably Chris has got quite a lot of collateral in the bank at the moment where the supporters are concerned. I guess you get asked the question quite a lot, and you probably end up feeling like a bit of a politician trying to answer it. But the simple fact of the matter is, you haven't got a Scooby-Doo where the club's going to be next season.
No, we don't. Hopefully we'll find out in the next 2 or 3 weeks once everybody's seasons are wrapped up and the playoffs and whatnot are done, and then the FA have got to get back with their map and start working things out, I guess. But yeah, the simple answer is, I've been asked that so much in the past 2 weeks, and the answer is that we don't know. That's the unfortunate situation we find ourselves in at the moment. But rest assured, whatever happens, we'll be prepared for either way.
for an incredible season, a double-winning season, which we'll probably talk about in a minute. The simple fact of the matter is that the success that the club has had over the last couple of years, the aesthetic success making this such a wonderful venue to come and watch football, Chris's success, meaning that people are coming here now to watch winning football, winning trophies, winning league titles, it must have given the efforts of those people, the sponsors, the supporters, the volunteers on match day, have given a real lift to sort of this project and building some momentum so that that success continues into the future.
I mean, it's had a lift on the whole town. Last night, the vets were up here playing. Before we took over, me and Tom come and watch the Devizes through Trowbridge. And I reckon there was me, Tom, and maybe a man and his dog. Last night, there must have been 100 people up here watching the vets. You know, it's come a hell of a long way. People enjoy coming up here, you know, enjoy coming up here with their families, enjoy coming up here with their friends. Because, you know, the motto that we always come back, we're more than just a football club. I feel that we're a community project, and kids want to play now. This year's gone by, our best youth players went off to play for Melton, Corsham, Calm. Now they all want to play for Chris's team. You know, they've got big days out, get cup finals, leagues, and they're looking at the FA Cup next year, the Wiltshire Shield. So they want to be in Chris's team, and I think it's just good for all of them coming up through.
Tom, the work doesn't just finish because the football season's finished, does it? What have you got planned in your season?
No, we get the old, the football season's over, so you get a break now. That is absolutely not the case. If anything, it gets busier for the pitch activities. Obviously, you know, the Saturdays and the Tuesday nights from the football perspective, let's take a back seat now. But there's still plenty going on at the club. Like I said, it's become a real community place up here, place to put out. I mean, we've got a really, really busy May in terms of parties and other events that are going on. We've got our Chairman's Cup Day, which we run annually for a local charity. So we've got that coming up on Sunday the 16th, Sunday the 17th of May. And then we move forward to that. We've got our annual golf day, which Dan heads up with a team of people. And then we've got our youth tournament, which is one of the biggest youth tournaments around here. I think we've got a record amount of teams this year, 214 rings about. Certainly well over 200 youth teams across the weekend in May. And yeah, there is lots going on, and I think one of the biggest things going on this summer will be the World Cup. We dipped our toe in with the fan zone a couple of years ago and didn't really know what to expect, and we were blown away in all honesty. I think we had over 1,000 people in for the final. So we got asked questions all year, are you going to be doing another fan zone at the World Cup? We are. It will be very different to the last one due to external circumstances, also licensing and stuff. But we're going to put on a great show for the town up here. So yeah, that will take over a large chunk of the summer, and then I'll be full speed ahead for pre-season now.
Dan, we talked a bit, I mentioned in the interview the pitchside barrier. I know that there's been work for quite some time going on the other side of the ground, improving the change rooms and things like that. We're now seeing this incredible functioning room, which is part of the main clubhouse where we have dance. For supporters over the next season, what improvements are the club looking at doing? What aesthetic differences do you think the fans coming to the Grizzly environment and stadium will see?
Well, as we've seen with Portishead going up, has its sort of the FA level and groundbreaking. So now we've gone till March to bring our sort of ground up to the regulations of Step 5. So pitchside barriers hardly standing all the way around to a certain standard set by them. So unfortunately these things cost a lot of money, you know. That in itself, we've had a couple of quotes from about in the region of 30,000. So, but to all of go on up to the leagues, it has to be done. So pretty much that is our number one priority. What's been getting ready. And the FA have sort of set the bar now. I think next season there'll be a lot of clubs frantically trying to put these things right because they can't not do it for one club, they can not do it for them all. So there's a lot of work to be done. Some of it, a bit of concrete on the ground, you come up there, you won't really notice too much of a difference, but rules are rules and you have to think about it, unfortunately. But we're constantly improving. We've got a good team of the people that do work behind the scenes, and there's always something out there.
Chris, we've talked about the sort of the relative relative uncertainty of which division that you'll be in, I wonder, could you give us a little bit of an insight into the life of a non-league manager over the off-season? I mean, what plans have you got? What is it? Player meetings? Is it what do you do for your summer months?
I think any manager will tell you that it's actually a lot busier than people might think. In some instances, it's actually busier than during the season. So yeah, I like to meet with all of my players individually from the season just gone, and have individual chats with them about the season just gone, and then the season next season, and our plans for that, and whether they want to be part of the plans, and whether I want them to be part of the plans next year as well. And then once that's out of the way, it'll probably be a little bit of a break, maybe a couple of weeks, go away somewhere and have a bit of a holiday, and then before we know it, we'll be back around to pre-season and trying to get new players in to hopefully improve us for step 5 next year as well.
So Dan, you've succeeded in the short-term plan. What are the ambitions that you want to see the club fulfil going forward?
Nice FA Cup semi-final at Wembley would be nice. Maybe win the Vase next year, so that'd be another Wembley trip for us, I think. Maybe not win the league next year just yet. Nice just to set
Let somebody else have it.
Yeah, well, we've got the ground breakers, we can't jump again, because that might be too much for us. But FA Cup, I think a couple of good days out, nothing to us.
So I'm on a more realistic now. Before Chris has a heart attack, what are your plans? What are your ambitions for?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's plenty to look forward to next season. The FA Cup for one, the club's not been in the FA Cup for a number of years, so that's something that I'm really looking forward to. Nice home draw would be great, or even a decent away day where we can get a bit of coach and have a good day out would be great. We're obviously moving into the Wiltshire Shield next season, so we'll be competing against some big sides, Swindon Towns, Chippenhams, Beltram, and so on. So it's another competition to look forward to. Yeah, I think we need to be realistic in terms of the league. We need to remember where we've come from in a short space of time. Devizes was batting around the bottom of step 6 for a number of years, and for the past 3 seasons we've been spoiled on the football front. We've had all the games, all the seasons have gone to the wire. There's been something on at every game of the season. The first season we scraped in the playoffs. We got in the playoffs. The season before we were in the playoffs, we had a big game up here against Bradford. This season, obviously, till the final game of the season, we were in a title race. Next season will be completely different. We've been spoiled in terms of winning lots of football matches. I think I had a look at in Slimbridge, who won the league in the Hellenic Prem last year. Lost 9 games, I think, in the league. So we have to be more realistic. There's going to be a lot tougher games coming with some proper big sides, which means embrace and look forward to. Also be realistic about it. We don't just want to go up and survive. We are, like we said, we've got our ambitions, but I don't expect us to be knocking around at the top end of the league. But it's a nice solid season, consolidating the league well. You can never bank on cup runs or anything like that, but a little cup run here and there just to keep the fans excited. So yeah, I'm hopeful for another positive season. But yeah, just probably a bit more realistic about things and more plans. Obviously we don't want to put any added pressure on the rest.
Well, what a season it's been, particularly for Devizes Town First. And of course, it wouldn't be possible without our fantastic team, led, of course, by our manager, Chris Allen, and all of the volunteers, all of the committee members, all of the people who make the match day experience here what it is, including, of course, our invaluable sponsors who provide the club with the financial support that it needs to continue to grow. So on behalf of all of the supporters, I would like to thank Tom, Chris and Dan for their time. And one last time this season, up the town!
Up the town!
Cheers, Ian.